Hey guys, Adam Trigger here, wagertalk.com. It's college football week 7, and we're talking a big matchup in the SEC between Alabama and Arkansas. But before we get into the breakdown, give us a like, subscribe to our channel so we can continue bringing you free NFL and college football picks all season long. Back to the matchup here. Alabama, in my opinion, did not play their best game last weekend against Texas A&M, but they still won and they still covered. And I think Alabama is kind of on the rise right now. If you go back to earlier in the season, they lost to Texas, didn't play a very inspired game the following their next time out against South Florida. But I feel like this Alabama team has been kind of just like slowly improving week to week. And I really think if they play their best game or they play to their potential here, that they could really blow Arkansas out in this game. Jalen Milroe had a great game against Arkansas last year. If he has another big game here, it's sort of hard for me to see Arkansas keeping up on the scoreboard in this one. And again, part of the reason I kind of just start to gravitate toward the Alabama side is I just think that they probably haven't hit their ceiling yet. They're a team that's starting to sort of climb, up the ranks, in my opinion. But I don't even know that we've seen Alabama's best effort yet. And if they bring their best effort here at home, I think this could be a long day for Arkansas. So Arkansas, it's been a long month. 4 straight losses. They've been competitive, and they've played some good teams: BYU, LSU, Texas A&M, Ole Miss. But I do think the consecutive losses and the losing starts to take its toll at some point. And after another sort of hard-fought, close loss last time out, I just wonder if they can bring the effort needed to be able to beat Alabama, but to even hang around within this number. Big reason that I'm kind of, I kind of think Arkansas could get blown out here. They just don't have many explosive plays. And that's ultimately how I think you're going to score on Alabama. It's really tough to sustain drives against Alabama, and it's going to be even more difficult for Arkansas to sustain drives because they haven't had much of a run game and they haven't really been able to protect KJ Jefferson. If you look in that 4-game losing streak for Jefferson, he's thrown 6 interceptions. He's been sacked 23 times this year, and Alabama gets after the quarterback. They have 22 sacks on their own. So that doesn't bode well for Arkansas either. If Jefferson's under pressure, he's throwing picks. And, one has to think that Alabama's defensive front is going to be able to get some pressure, on Jefferson with Arkansas's offensive line kind of having been a weakness for them. Rocket Sanders has been banged up. Because of that, Arkansas hasn't had much of a run game. So, again, it's just all these things sort of adding up to Alabama, kind of being the overwhelming side to win here. And then it comes down to, can they win this game by 3 scores? And I'm leaning toward that being the case. Arkansas, their defense is good. They also have good special teams. Like there's definitely possibility of them making a play, on the defensive side of the ball to stay in this game, or their defense just hanging in there enough to lose by 17, 18 and cover. But that's kind of that's really the only scenario where I think Arkansas covers is they're able to just make a big play somewhere and hang around just long enough to stay within the number. I think that probably also means Alabama ends up with like a similar output to last week, somewhere in the high 20s, and maybe it's like a 27-10 final or something, and Arkansas gets it done that way. But I think the more likely occurrence here is going to be Alabama to win this one going away, probably by 3 scores or more. If Arkansas doesn't force turnovers or they don't make a big play somewhere, there's just no way I can see them them hanging without Alabama here. Also, Alabama, they take care of the football. They don't exactly turn it over. And so, it's going to be, I think it's going to be difficult. This looks like an uphill climb for Arkansas. Way too many penalties for Arkansas. They've been heavily penalized the past few weeks. Go back to that BYU game. They lost 14 penalties. Believe it was 125 yards of penalty yardage against Arkansas in that game. So, yeah, I add it all up. I mean, if KJ makes a couple of mistakes here, if he's constantly under pressure, I just don't know how Arkansas hangs in this game for a full game with Alabama. And so for that reason, I think Alabama probably pulls away at some point. It's the way I would bet this game. Haven't added this to my card yet, but it'd be really hard for me to take the points here. It'd have to be Alabama or nothing. And I think ultimately the Crimson Tide probably get the cover in this one. Heading over to Wager Talk for all of my plays. Coupon code AT10 is good for $10 off anything this weekend on my page. I had a 3-1 college football weekend last weekend, a 3-1 weekend in the NFL. So 6-2 overall in football, and hopefully we can keep that going this week. And click on the other videos on the screen if you like the content and you want more free picks. Click on the videos on your screen and head on over to wagertalk.com for all of our football content all season long.